till the end. Forgiving each other, letting love cover. Always sisters, always friends. We have to live in harmony, even though we make.
Ooh, hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Woohoo.
Whoop. Where is everyone?
Here we are. We right here. Where are
You're
you?
right
Are you
here.
here? We right here. Where are you? Let's
I'm
go.
here.
Hey, voila.
Was this April
Wow.
Fool or what?
No, we passed it, darling. We here live and living color. You see all these colors we have on today? Live and
Woo!
living
Got the
color.
colors.
We're colorful today. Hello, my
I'm
sister.
booming into spring.
Yes,
Me
spring.
too.
Happy spring. It's happy sunny, sunshiny day. It's an awesome day. It's a great God day. Look, I'm Wyoming,
I'm Peg.
I am Linda.
And I'm Charlene.
and we are
Four
Four
Sisters
Sisters
Live.
Live.
Four Sisters Live. Woo! I tell you guys, we are in live and living color, and that's the operative word is we live.
Yeah.
We are alive because so much has happened over the past couple of days to the week. I'm
Every
telling you,
week is just
whew,
it's unreal.
it's unreal. So
Unreal.
much is going on in our world. So much is going on in our lives. So much is going on in our country, and we must continue to, just like we said last week, pray. You
Mhm.
know, every day we have to pray, guys, because a turn of events is happening as we speak.
Yes.
You know, and so it's very important, and I'm glad we are here every week to not take for granted that God has given us another opportunity to just come and have our show, because I had someone to tell me, say, I thank God for y'all show, because you don't know who lives you're touching. So we are touching lives, and that's what it's about. And they was sharing with me how much they really do appreciate our show, and they enjoy our show, because we're bringing information that is important, that's needed. And so in so many ways we are touching lives, ladies. So I just wanted to pass that on, that to let people are commenting, they're appreciating, and I thank God that we're here. I love you guys. I mean, for the opportunity to be amongst you queens.
We love you
Beautiful
too.
queen.
Yes. But it's been a challenging week. A lot has gone on, but they say, but God. So today, Linda, this is your day, girl, to talk about health and wellness. And if we don't need to talk about health and wellness no other time, we need to talk about what the conversation is today.
Yeah, the conversation today is so hot. Today, we're living in a time that we're under so much pressure mentally and physically. Everything that we do and say and see on the news and see all around us, it's affecting us.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to not only pray, but we're going to have to work. We're going to have to work our way through this. We've got to pray. We know God has us, but do we have ourselves? That's most important. So today we're going to have Dr. Rowling on.
Yay!
We're always excited about Dr. Rowling. Dr. Lane Rowling, our infectious disease specialist, will be on. And also we're going to talk about diabetes. Now we know that is in our community and in the world. So we will have RN Helen Jenkins will be on. Yay, yay.
Yay.
So we're going to talk about two things that everyone needs to hear about. So tell your family, tell your friends to go to Four Sisters Live on Facebook right now and let us know that you're there. We want you to hit the hearts, hit everything, and also send us some messages.
And
So
share. Absolutely. Share, because this is information that we all definitely need to know. We're not exempt from it all, any of it, so we
Not at
must
all.
definitely talk about it. And this keeps us on our toes, to understand what we're talking about. We're not just sitting here speaking to you guys, we're really speaking to ourselves as well.
Yes.
So it's very important that we take in what we're talking about. And we got two doctors in the house. Hello.
Yes.
Charlene, how has your week been, girl? Because you know what? We got to put some shackles on your feet because you need move.
No shackles. I am all about Mary. We're not doing shackles. Listen, I woke up this morning on just full of life, and I'm kind of careful how I say things because one time somebody used to say, "Oh yeah, come on guys, sound like somebody fell in the bushes, right?" And we used to say that a lot on one of these broadcasts I used to do. And Lord Jesus, somebody's car went into the bushes. Won't say who, and I'm like, I ain't saying that anymore because you can speak life into anything or speak somewhere in your life that you're not even trying to speak. So anyway, oh my God, I woke up this morning and the sunlight was kissing me. And it was so beautiful, and my thoughts was going. I'm like, to hear Dante say something about generational,
curses
and things like that. But
Yeah,
we've been talking about generational wealth.
Oh yes, yeah. If we don't have the health, we won't have any wealth, Charlene.
We don't have anything. We saw that example from two people. One of our dear sisters, I think it was, I can't think of her name right off top, but DMX is one of the examples. And then, you had the other CNN reporter. And I'm like, okay, so all the money in the world couldn't save you. It can't save you from COVID. It can't save you from cancer. You can prevent some of the things, but, so I'm looking at generational wealth and our next generation, and I've been thinking about it all week long. And I'm like, oh my God, like, guys, take care of yourself. Like, take care of yourself mentally and physically. Like, literally, like you can earn all this money, have the best credit. It doesn't matter. Once you start tapping into things that are not good, like drugs and alcohol, promiscuous, sex and all this other stuff that can cause you other diseases, like your life is gone.
Yeah.
It's like
But
that.
Charlene, I was saying someone had to cut you off, but I wanted to say, because you hit a point that when you start taking on other drugs and other things as substitutes, that what you feel is going to make you feel good, but down through the years, if you are taking these drugs illegally, it's going to catch up with you health wise.
Sooner or later,
it will catch up with you. You know what I mean? So if you, it's just like putting all this poison in your body. And you're thinking that it's not going to affect you. And it's like a car. If you don't keep that car moving and going to take it to get fixed and get it checked and, doing what it needs to do every so many miles, if you don't go to the doctors and get yourself checked every so many weeks, months to the year, you don't know what's going to, and then you conk out and you be wondering what happened. So your body does give you warning signs. Absolutely. Exactly. And your body gives you warning signs. Signs. You know what I mean?
It's like that engine check light. Okay. And don't ignore it.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are things that I'm glad we have opportunity to speak about just briefly on today. But before we get to all these other things, ladies, Peggy, we got to check in with the other queen before we, move on. What's going on, Peggy?
Girl, let me tell you something. I am enjoying every day, every moment, every hour.
Hallelujah.
Hello?
Yes.
I don't want to wake up tomorrow and say, I wish I coulda, shoulda.
Where is my mom? Where is my mom?
Where your tambourine, child?
Girl, yes, Peggy. Yes.
I'll prove to that.
I hold no grudges. I hold no ill wishes toward them. I am so grateful for my life. Peggy, keep speaking.
Yes.
Yes. We got to.
Somebody put in the chat, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. I'm here, I'm alive. Put in the chat, everybody put something in that's going to encourage the next neighbor.
And Kathy said, your health is your wealth. Thank you for reminding us, if you don't have your health, you can't spend it.
Because so many people have testimonies, ladies, because they did, hey, without the test, you have no testimonies, as they say. So we got to have our testimonies here. We got to be each other's witnesses, and we got to be each other's back. We got to have each other's.
Well, and we got to also keep reminding each other how important it is, not only just to have your back, but if I got your back, I'm going to tell you, hey, Wyoming, you ain't thinking right. Okay, you're not
Right.
eating right. Come on, somebody.
Come on,
Because if you're
somebody.
not thinking right and you're not eating right, then your spirituality isn't right. And guess what? That has nothing to do
Well,
with
you know what?
God.
I do want to ask a question. It seems
Yeah.
like this pandemic, people getting a little somewhere mentally, somewhere. I don't know. I'm just asking.
What you mean?
Are we? I mean, it's like people. I mean,
You
'cause some
mental.
stuff-
Everybody's mental. Everybody got something mental going on. If you're staying in that house and you're
Right.
not getting outside and getting that vitamin C, D,
Yeah, true.
okay? Yeah, C and D, right? If you're
Right.
not doing that, there are scientific studies that show that you basically commit yourself to some kind of mental derangement. So you got to get out of the house.
Yeah.
You got to talk to other people. Even if you're talking to your dog, get out of the house and talk to the dog. Get out of the house and talk to the flower.
Yes.
Go talk to the tree, honey.
Somebody didn't kick the
Get out of
dog.
that house, honey.
Somebody didn't kick the dog. Somebody didn't kick the cat. What is going on?
I'm just saying.
Okay. Speaking of
How
our
could yourself is not all that good. Don't find something
I
else.
know. Y'all are funny. I ain't fooling with y'all. Y'all my queens. So I think we have a video because we want to dedicate something to
let's
our
show
queens.
Queens.
We
Yes.
have queens, and we're going to dedicate this to you all today.
Hey, Queen.
Hey, Queen.
Hey, Queen Sister.
Girl, you've done it again. You are constantly raising the bar for all of us and doing so flawlessly.
You do know that you're that girl, right?
I hope that when you wake up in the morning and look in the mirror, you see how divine you are.
Know that so many people want what you got.
You have dreams to fulfill and promises to yourself that you must keep.
I know at times you feel underappreciated and misvalued. Trust me, we've all been there.
So it's necessary that you can count on yourself.
Now, don't go seeking perfection.
Extend yourself a little grace.
Don't be afraid to celebrate the little wins as much as the big ones.
You, Miss Thane, are courageous. You are dynamic. You are principled.
So, baby girl, just remember, respect is a minimum.
There's a sweet justice in knowing that the path you are on was designed for you and you alone.
Doing right by yourself never goes out of style.
Everything about you is majestic and a force to be reckoned with.
Trust me, people are paying attention.
You're special and worthy of praise. Don't shy away from it.
And you don't have to get your groove back because guess what? You never lost it.
It's also important to rest. Make sure your hustle doesn't get in the way of your health. Girl, take care of yourself.
And the next time you want to second guess yourself, don't do it.
So pause for a second right now and relax, relate, release.
You are needed. You are appreciated.
Girl, you make me so proud. And I love you.
Remember,
you are 100%
that queen.
Oh, yes.
I love it. Love it. And we salute all of our queens today. We salute you today.
We love you, queens.
We love you out there, queens.
Love yourself too.
Yes. Love upon yourself and important.
Yes.
So look, we got birthdays. Where's her birthdays at? We might as well go and keep it happy, keep it moving. Who got birthdays? Somebody celebrating a birthday?
Oh, girl, we got a whole lot of our S4SN sisters who's celebrating a month. This whole month of April. When I do this, I like to shout them out, all of them at the same time, every week until the end of the month. So let's give a shout out to our sister Judith Clark, Kathy Muhammad, Helena McKinnon, Florence Champagne King. I call her the king. She's the queen, right?
Queen and the king.
Marcella Cabo, April Adenuli, Remy Duyon. Getting these names all in here at one time. Julie Rogers and Leticia Smith. Birthdays, girl.
Shout them out. Happy birthday to you.
Send me one of those, Linda.
That is so nice. That's nice. That's nice. So, you know, there's a lot going on in the community too, you know, birthday celebrations and people having all kind of events and everything, Peggy. And, that's like, we want to go to some of these events if we can. I'm so zoomed out, I don't know what to do. But anyway, I digress.
I digress.
I am just zoomed. Oh.
Well, you know why? We have so many amazing events that happen. I just love for the weekends to get here just to take a glance of all the good stuff that's happening. So I'm going to do this quick because there's so many, but I just wanted us to tap into them. And then they can go to our website, sistersforsistersnetwork.org, and they're posted there. So if you want to get more details. But let's kick it off right now. Okay. Natalie, abortion is an event that's coming up, and it's about Natalie became pregnant after she was raped by a masked man, uncertainly, which caused the maternity that her husband requested her to have an abortion. So that begins to open up conversation. This event is going to be on Sunday, April the 11th at 2:30 at the Mount Monroe Theater. This is in Hampton, Virginia. You can also buy a ticket. So if you see the information there, we will have it on our website. But this is something that we want to support a sister that was on last week. Talking about her play. You know who she is?
Jasmine Andrews. Yeah, she's a filmmaker.
Exactly.
Sister. So let's support a sister who's a filmmaker doing her thing. And we did talk about domestic violence last week. So this is a part of what she does as a filmmaker, produce domestic violence films. So yes, tomorrow you all get your tickets for Natalie's.
Perfect.
Thank you, Peg.
Next. This one is scheduled for Monday, April the 12th. This is the Coalition of Churches and Community USA. One of our good friends, Tamika Russell, is part of this panel discussion. Take a look at this. They're talking about sexual assault awareness. Beautiful. Next.
Beautiful.
This is one, our sister Jamila Woods is part of this movement. This is going to be an amazing event. It's going to be on Thursday, April the 15th at 7:00 p.m. Please tune into this particular event. If you want to know more about it, go to our website, sistersforsistersnetwork.org, under calendar of events. Next. Here is one of our members is having a financial empowerment session, April the 17th. Lucinda Mundy is one of our members who we support and sponsor. Guys, we have to look at mentoring our young people. Tune in April the 17th. Next. Next event. I think it's stuck. Okay, here's another one. Prince George's County folks, come out on April the 17th, on April the 18th. Fairwood Community Park is having their Second Chance Community Walk. It starts registration at 12:30, kicks off at 1 o'clock. An excellent opportunity to get out now and get in tune to the community. Next. April the 21st. This is going to be a grand opening. One of our members, Alaris Bernard, is facilitating this one. We're here to support. It's a grand opening of the Blue Rock Care Center. And it's going to open up April the 21st. Good job. Next. Money explosion. You know, this is the conversation we need to have every day, every moment, anytime, 24/7. We got to talk about money. Here's an opportunity for a virtual event, Saturday, April the 24th, 10:30 to 2 p.m. Free registration. Folks, tap into it. This information will be on our website. Next. Wealth. We got to talk about wealth, guys. This is an event. Our mentor, Dr. George Frazier, is part of this. And our brother and friend, Les Brown. This is April the 24th, 8 p.m. Check it out. One of our good friends, Terry Tabor, member of Sisters for Sisters Network, is putting on a virtual fashion show. Please tap into this one. This is going to be Sunday, April the 25th at 3 p.m. This is amazing sister who doing some amazing work, and she's bringing her, I believe it's her daughter or her granddaughter. Her granddaughter is going to be part of this virtual fashion show. Beautiful, beautiful. Tune into that one. Here's one that if you are part of District 6, you need to be part of their roundtable. Prince George's County, Walla Bagay is running for that particular space as a leader in the community. Tune and tap into this information. Some powerful stuff is coming out of this particular roundtable. Next, finally, Black and Brown Male Educator Fair. It is happening on Thursday, April the 29th from 5 to 7 p.m. Again, this information is on our website. And I believe that's it, Dante. Thank you so much.
Good. That's good stuff, Peggy. A lot going on in the community, and we just adhere to and go to what we can go to, attend to what you can attend to, and support what you can support, because that's what it's all about. So look, we do want to do one other thing, of course, and this is to also recognize 2 men who has passed on as of yesterday that were really huge icons on both spectrums, on both sides of the spectrums. And we have Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, and the Queen Elizabeth's husband. They were married for over 60 plus years.
Over 70 years.
70 years. Wow. That's a long time. But his health, has succumbed. And peace, love, and blessings out there to the Queen, the family, the royals.
Right.
Absolutely. And 99 years old. 99.
He lived good. He's the example of what most men I can say look to. And he reminds me of my significant other, supportive, and recognizes royalty, recognizes his role as a husband when you have a woman that is out front like she was.
Absolutely. So long, of course, live the family, and that they would be able to get through this. I mean, this pandemic has created such a thing to where you can't go all full out. They would have had this just be glamorous and all full out. And because you can't do that now, they have to keep it in a small family size. They say like 30 people can only attend. Isn't that amazing? So, so blessings to them. Next, DMX. AK known as Earl Simmons, that icon in the rap business, music industry, songwriter, actress, actor. I'm sorry, and just a brilliant man. He was a brilliant man and did a lot for the community and the music business. So he was powerful in his own way, So blessings to his family, and peace and comfort to them, and all those who really carried him in his heart. Yep, brothers passed on. So that's what we have. So Linda, talking about our health. Here we go.
Here we go, y'all. Put on your seatbelt. Put your seatbelt on. Okay, right now we're going to bring to you one of our sisters. Kathy recommended this wonderful lady. Kathy has all these wonderful women in swag in her bag.
Yes,
so this is one of the ladies out of the swag bag. And this is Helen A. Jenkins. Come on in. Come on down. She's the founder of Just Another Sugar, a diabetes consulting company. She's a registered nurse for over 20 years, working on her PhD. So she's going to educate us even more. She's also an ambassador for the American Diabetes Association. So there's so much here that I could read, but I just want her to tell us who she is, and let's roll with what we need to know. Thank you so much for coming on board.
Hi, ladies. Thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity to speak about something that I'm very passionate about, diabetes. As you know, diabetes does plague our community, especially Black communities and especially churches, okay? So we know that it hits rampant with us. I talk about it. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I am a registered nurse. I've been doing this for a long time. I got into diabetes based off of the fact that my nephew was diagnosed when he was 9. And I just had a great interest in learning about what he had to go through because he was always around me a lot. So that's where my passion started, and it's just soared since. What should I say? Let's talk about the newly diagnosed person who's just got diagnosed with diabetes. They don't know what to do. They're scared to death. And most times when you're diagnosed, you think the immediate things you think about are death and amputations or losing sight. So I'm going to clear that up right now, that just because you've just been diagnosed, you're not going to lose your sight. You're not going to lose any limbs. You're not going to die. It's not a death sentence, only if you want it to be. Okay. And what I mean by that is when a doctor or nurse tells you what you need to do and you simply don't do it, that is you setting the tone for your own death sentence. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and say that diabetes is easy to handle, because it's not. It's a chronic disease. And with any chronic disease, you will have those issues of frustration, depression, that sort of thing. But you can work through that if you ask for help. Okay. Let people help you. When you talk about, the ladies in the beginning talked about prayer and working together with the prayer. Let me address the audience of church folk. And if I offend anyone, I'm going to say I'm sorry. But let me say this. I believe in the power, the healing power of Jesus Christ. I do. But until he decides he's going to heal you of whatever you have to do the work. Don't lay it all at his feet to do the work for you, because it's simply not fair. The body is a well-oiled machine, and it will take care of you. It will respect you. It will love you as long as you respect and care for it. That's what I have to say about that. So I won't get myself in too much trouble.
Amen.
But that's going back to being newly diagnosed. When you're first diagnosed, you go into the hospital or your doctor's office, and your numbers are really high. They might be 800, they might be 900. I've seen them as high as over 1,000. Okay, that doesn't mean that you can't get them down. By the time you go home, your numbers should be coming down considerably. They may not be as low as you would want them to be, but keep in mind, it takes time. You've just been diagnosed. You have to get regulated with your insulin or your medication, and just take your time. Be good to yourself. Go easy on yourself. It's not going to happen overnight, but at least you know it will happen. Do the things that you need to do to get your numbers where they need to be, and everything should be fine. You don't let diabetes rule you, you rule it. Okay. So you're not living for diabetes. Okay. You can still do the same things you were doing prior to a certain degree, prior to diagnosis. What I mean by that is you can still have your favorite foods. Now that doesn't mean you go out and if you like Chick-fil-A every day or you like Popeye's chicken sandwiches, you can just eat that. No, but you can have a cheat meal. Okay. A cheat meal, not a cheat day. So you can pick a day out of the month or pick a day out. Just if you want to do it every week, that's fine. But just know that after you eat that food, your numbers might be up. But just as long as it's just one time, not over and over and over again. That's the one thing that people are worried about, whether or not they can have what they normally would eat before diagnosis. As an educator, diabetes educator, one of the things I do talk about is the juices, the sweet drinks and stuff like that. I will take that away from you. Everything else, I don't. I say modify with portion control, measure your food out until you have an understanding of what something looks like so that you don't have to keep measuring it out. But you can still have the things you like. You can still have a good life. You can still live long. I mean, my nephew is almost 30. I think Maurice is almost 30. And he does what he needs to do. I credit my brother for that. If he's listening, I credit my brother Alan because he's not strict, but he's strict enough. He was very supportive dad on, when Maurice was first diagnosed. So I looked at him as my model as how to be a diabetes educator and how to teach my patients. Let's see what else. Also, insulin. Let's talk about that. A lot of people think insulin is a bad thing, but insulin is not. Remember, your body was making insulin before you were diagnosed. It's a hormone that your body naturally has in it. Okay, so if your body's not producing it, that means you have to get it from another source, whether that's in a pen or a vial, whichever way, but you have to get it. Unfortunately, it's not in a pill form because the stomach acids would tear it up before it even reached your bloodstream. So they don't have it in a pill form yet. But if your doctor or your nurse tells you have to go on insulin, it should not be looked upon as a punishment. I know a lot of people doctors say, if you don't do this right, I'm going to have to put you on insulin. Well, that sounds like a punishment. That's not a punish. It shouldn't be. Okay. And if your doctor's talking to you in that manner, then I think it's time to get a new doctor. Okay. I always say you're not married to a doctor or a nurse. Divorce that one and get a new one. Okay. Because you're supposed to be working as a team. What else? Let's talk about family. Okay. Family, keep in mind that family members love you. They love you. They love you in their own way. They love you. Okay. So if they're coming at you, they're nagging you, what you perceive as nagging, they perceive as caring. However, you can tell them to back off. What I mean by this, you go to a family picnic, you want to have the food that everybody else is having, hot dogs, hamburgers, buns, potato salad. And yes, you can eat that, but you have to eat it in moderation. You can't have potato salad and then have pie, cake, and cookie on the same plate. You have to break it up a little bit. You can't do that. You have to break it up a little bit. But if someone's telling you, you can't have that, you can gently tell them, yes, I can. Hopefully you have a diabetes educator or endocrinologist that you can talk to. But you can tell them, I listen to my doctor and everything's okay. But remember, at the core of their nagging, it's just because they love you. Okay? So try not to beat them up too much. Ladies, do you have any questions for me?
Oh, boy. I'm telling you, I'm gonna call you Dr. Helen, not Nurse Helen. This is good information. This is really good information because we're talking in our African American community. We suffer from these things, and it's been eons, and especially in my family. I can only speak for my family. You know, as a recent, my sister, she was diagnosed and she's a newly diabetic in this area. So everything, when it becomes new, you do panic. You don't know what to do. You don't get all the information that you need. So you're trying to absorb it and you're trying to learn. And this is a learning experience. But Doctor, well, I'm calling you doctor already. But Helen, can you tell us about the reversal? Can it be reversed?
Well, here's the key. First of all, let's go back to her being to the newly diagnosed, and then I'll talk about the reversal part. When the person's newly diagnosed, they panic. And then they don't want to eat anything. So they go to one extreme to the next. Okay. They just want to eat lettuce and tomato and stuff like that. And they think they can't have the carbohydrates. Keep in mind that everything that you predict that you eat has a carb in it. It just depends on how many carbs are in that food. Okay. Doesn't mean you can't have it. Doesn't mean it's going to affect your blood sugar to a point. It's only if you eat a whole lot of it. Okay. You need carbohydrates to think and to function. So I don't want anyone stopping the carbs abruptly because they're afraid of their blood sugar. Everybody's blood sugar goes up. Everybody's blood sugar fluctuates. The amount of time we've spent talking on this broadcast, your blood sugar has fluctuated numerous times. Okay. Different things affect your blood sugar. Stress, exercise, all that stuff. Okay. So keep that in mind. But tell your sister she can eat. She can eat what she likes. Well, she can eat. She can eat what she likes. Okay, she can eat. Okay?
Absolutely. I think we have some people. Oh, you want to go ahead, but I want to before you say that. If anyone have any questions while we're here on this chat, we may take one question or two and ask Nurse Helen, and we'll be able to get it out there to you. Just want to put that in. Go ahead. Nurse.
Okay. And as for the reversal, here's where it gets a little disheartening for some people. Diabetes itself is not reversible. Pre-diabetes is. Okay. So when you're in the pre-diabetic state, that can be reversed with your diet, your exercise, and all that stuff. Once you're actually a diabetic, it's not reversed. Okay. But you can manage it. And yes, you can come off medicine if you're managing your diabetes properly. Okay. But if you have to take the medicine, please, I can't say this enough. Please, please, please take the medicine you've been prescribed. It's there to help you. Okay. You don't want to burn out the rest of your beta cells that's making the insulin you already have in your system. You don't want to burn them out like that. So take the medicine to help preserve those cells that are still functioning. Okay. So don't be afraid. Take the medicine. Another thing that you might find with diabetics or anybody who has a chronic disease is the healthy coping portion of it. Okay. Any disease that someone has is going to wear and tear on the mental psyche. We just talked about COVID and how your mental state can be abruptly just interrupted just based off of having to be in the house all the time or not being around people. I know it has affected me. Trust me. I know it has affected me. Okay. So can you imagine having a chronic disease and you're constantly thinking about that disease? with diabetes, you're constantly thinking about food and how it's going to affect your blood sugars. In which case, I need you to find ways to cope, meaning through church, prayer, of course, definitely prayer, and exercise. Exercise, believe it or not, is the secret weapon to bringing blood sugars down. Okay,
Yeah.
Work
Well,
do
you know,
yard work, whatever you like.
Thank you so much. It's summertime now, so it's no excuse for us not to work out. If you don't do anything else, we must walk. That's what I try to do. I'm a diabetic, but I don't take meds. I'm controlled. I look at my food. I look at my carbs. I look at everything to make sure that I've been doing this for a while. I try to keep track of everything, but I thank you so much for giving us all this information. We want to bring you back on because this is not a one-stop shop. We want to bring you back periodically, because this is something that's not going to go away in the community, and people will always have questions. And those persons who have questions in the chat, feel free to put your questions in the chat. You can look at this again on Facebook, and I'm sure. And Helen can go back to it, so she can bring those answers to us when she comes back. Thank you so much, Helen, for her information. Give us how can we contact you.
Thank you. So you can contact me by my telephone number, Helen A. Jenkins, 301-852-3577. And my email is hjenkins08005 at gmail.com.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies, for having me.
And this nurse Helen, there's some people who ask questions in the chat. If you don't mind going on and answering those questions on our chat, and they can put your phone number, because I'm sure they may want to reach out to you again. But there are some questions, and possibly you can answer them right, in real time with us today.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Continue to be blessed.
Thank
That's
you.
good stuff.
Thank you for everything.
Right. Moving real fast right along. We have our very own, and then I have to nerve to be freezing. But we have our very own Dr. Rowling, come on in the house. I will be back in a moment after.
Dr. Rowling, hi. Boy, I tell you, you are a world-renowned doctor.
I don't know about all that, but I do know that, diabetes is important. I probably cut off 3,000 or 1,000 legs, and think about all the amputations I've done on that part. I think, and I think I may be cutting out maybe 3 or 4 women's feet or legs in the year. So quite aware of genetics, and I see the horrific part of it, the infection again. And that's my other expertise that I've done for many years is the reconstructions and diabetics from above and below knee amputation, foot amputations, etc. So I know the horrors of diabetes. So people need to take it very seriously.
Wow. Well, doctor, I know we have Linda, and she's on. Lynn, we can't hear you, dear.
Yeah, I am back. I'm sorry. My phone does some strange things. This has been hot topics today, all day. Hello, Dr. Rowling. So happy to have you back again. And of course, educating us every single month about the vaccines and COVID-19 and what we need to know. So I just want everyone to know that Dr. Rowland is a specialist in infectious disease. So he is the man for over 30 years. So this is not something that just happened to be in his space. So Dr. Rowland, I want to give you all the time. What is it you have to talk to us about today?
I think the most important thing that David is talking about is just trying to keep people informed on the new mutations that are in our population. I talked about this a year ago, and the mutations and the virus mutation in 2 weeks. Now we know there's over 4,000 different types of as far as variants out there. And some of the common ones have Brazil strain, South African, the London strain, California strain, and the original 614 Wuhan strain. But I think what's that folks, like I said before, now we're into the point where we're having what we call double mutation strains. For example, Indian strain is a combination of two distinct SARS virus family put together, and this, causing havoc in society, population, hospital rate. So I think it's very important that the people on this platform do not get into that mental complacency, because we have a long ways. And the reality is that 6 weeks is going to get really, really intense with the mutation strain predominating U.S. United States. People are going to get sick and people are going to die. And the bottom line, people don't remember the basics, biosafety, biosecurity protocols, from wearing a mask to washing your hands and trying to keep out themselves from this, pandemic fatigue, because everybody's tired of it. There's some serious deaths. They're talking about probably by August 18th, be another 600,000 people are going to die. So that's how significant this is. This is not some, I got a feeling it's going to go away. I'm going to put my head in a microwave, drink some Clorox, but this is a serious, virus. And this virus is going to be around for the long term. And I think it's important for you ladies to always remember to make sure that when you're talking to your folks out there, that they need to remember the basics, basic understanding of the virus, basic understanding of, biosafety, biosecurity protocols, and then really understanding the basic information on vaccines, because everybody's in this big vaccine mode. Everybody has an opinion. And I didn't see these people a year ago. I didn't see them 5 years ago. I damn sure didn't see these folks 10 years ago when I'm fighting infectious diseases around the world. And then all of a sudden everybody's Johnny come lately and everybody's got an opinion. But as their opinion is going, people are still being placed in body bags. And so people need to make sure that they understand basic vaccine, pathology, understanding what are you doing a vaccine for, understanding the word vaccine efficacy and vaccine effectiveness, understanding the Pfizer vaccine is different than the, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, that women need to understand one vaccine that you need to make sure that you don't get is the AstraZeneca vaccine, because women are dying like flies in Europe from cerebral venous thrombosis. The viruses, the vaccines is causing antibodies that bind to the brain, causes plate formation, and you die. You need to understand these platforms, because once you go down that road, you can't take it back. Making sure that our people understand if you have sickle cell trait, because 1 in 350 blacks have that. You need to make sure that you have a very good conversation with your doctor or who's ever pushing their vaccine on you, because if you go into a sickle cell crisis, you're going to be out of here. And that's the reality. So this information is always warranted. I think it's important that once a month that you have a platform that we actually are talking about the SARS-CoV virus, because that is the driving force of the world's where we're at today with, people dying, morbidity, mortality, trying to get children back into school, et cetera. Our society's changed. Somebody on this platform and everybody in the world has been touched by the SARS-CoV virus in one form or another. And the reality, folks, is like I've said before, and I'll say it again, and I'll be talking about this tomorrow on the Black News Channel with another doctor about vaccine management in the future, is that this virus is going to be around for the next 100 years. And that's just a reality. The mask will be a part of your frontline protection. Making sure you understand how to wash your hands is important. And the continual understanding that this virus is in our population, this disease is endemic. So if you're somebody that's diabetic positive, somebody has rheumatoid arthritis, somebody's HIV positive, somebody has some type of immunocompromised disease, you need to make sure that you really are trying to make sure that you protect yourself from being affected by the SARS virus, because this virus has the ability to affect every cell in your body, and this virus is nothing to play around with.
Wow, that's a wow moment. Charlene is like, wow, I know, right? So much information that we have to, Linda, what can we say? The doctor's giving it to us, and
yes,
shaking my head.
thank you, Dr. Rowland. Yes. Could you give us some pointers on what we should do. We see it on TV, but is there something specific that you feel other than we know? And I was just looking at one of your videos, and you were talking about remind people about their clothing, their coffin in their arm. I just looked at one of your videos, and that scared me to death because they told us to cough in your arm. Now the germ is there. Kind of give us a little bit what you talked about on how long this virus stays on us, walking in the house, etc. Please.
Well, that's part of the basics and stuff, and I've talked about that on many platforms from MSNBC, Black
Yeah.
News, etc. And now my new position as the chief medical officer and technology guy for the Vatican, I'm on a whole different platform worldwide. And so the way we're going to try to mitigate and contain this is that we have to understand the basics. Everybody's missed the point. I don't know why people are jumping into lanes they don't have degrees in. I have 6 degrees. I have 2 doctors, math, 2 BS, and military science. So I've been doing this for 30 years, so I don't know anything about accounting, but I do know about infectious diseases and trauma. And so you guys got to make sure that you're getting the information on people that have the experience and not based off of what's been put out there on CNN or Fox, because they only give you one point of a view and it's not the complete picture and stuff. And it's not based off of science and medicine. It's based off of somebody's opinion that has no experience in the field. So when I tell folks my position on how to fight and mitigate, it's based off of my experience, and that's one thing nobody can ever tell me about anything, because the bottom line is that they were telling me 30 years ago, you Negroes, y'all not smart. Go get their degrees. I got all the degrees. They tell you you're still not there. So then I go spend 30 years doing this stuff from biological warfare to working in the jungles and stuff. Now I have the experience. So when I tell folks stuff, you need to take it to the bank. So for example, some of the basic stuff that people need to remember is that this virus has 3 major transmission modes. And let me repeat this again. Take a pen and paper, write this down.
Major.
The virus has 3 major transmission modes. One is respiratory. We know you can breathe it in. You can get infected. The folks out there that want to take that chance and we want to put that to the test, get on a plane, fly down to Brazil, go breathe in the air, and I promise you, you'll be in a body bag within a month. That's a fact.
Yes.
The second thing is that the virus is found in spit, in your saliva. You can kiss somebody. Somebody can kiss your face, and you can be infected by the virus. The third thing, the way, is through feces. And feces is probably, in my opinion, the biggest contribution to transmission worldwide, because feces is everywhere. And the virus lives in feces for 35 days. That's just a fact. There's no ifs and buts about it. You folks like to use ATM machines, kiosks. You go out in the public, you go to the bank to draw some money from Wells Fargo, and you have to touch that touch screen. Anything that you have to touch in public, folks, is infected with feces. And for every 1 gram of feces, it's 1 billion viruses. And that virus is part of the transmission of the SARS-CoV virus is in feces. That's why it's the way it is throughout the world, how it's been transmitted. And so that's important. When you understand these 3 mechanisms of action or transmission, how the virus is transmitted, then you can start mitigating and protect yourself. Now, I know we're pressed for time and stuff. You guys, like the young lady said, you can always find me on all the different videos, platforms, because other programs. But I'm going to give you guys Dr. Roland ABCs. If you take my ABCs and understand them, it's almost impossible for you to get infected. I've been doing this for 30 years. I've dealt with Ebola. I've dealt with, multi-drug resistant tuberculosis, HIV, viral hemorrhagic fevers, malaria, chikungunya, Zika. I can go down the line of the organisms, microorganisms, and viruses, bacteria that can kill you that I've treated patients with. And I'm talking real time. I'm not talking about a mannequin up in Idaho, don't have a passport and been out the country. We're talking real life situations where, these viruses and bacteria will take you out. So one of the reasons why I haven't got infected as a biological warfare expert and a professor of pathogenic infectious diseases, I understand transmission of diseases. So in the ABCs of Dr. Rollins' work, we have one letter is an R. and the R is respiratory. We know that this virus is transmitted through the air, so you have to have a mask. That just makes common sense. And that mask has to be a very good mask. That mask has to be like a copper mask, that's an FFP2 that has the ability to be antiviral. Or you need to have an anti-purification mask that is antiviral that actually kills a virus. So mask is mandatory. And this mask is not just a protection from yourself, from other people, respiratory. The mask also protects the spit coming out of your mouth. So somebody can be infected with the SARS-CoV virus, and you're talking to them, and this is just life itself. We all get spit coming out of our mouth because we say certain words, and that can get in your face, get on that apple. You have to understand that's a mode of transmission. So that mask is a very important frontline entity that you have to have, And then then we have the 7F. And the 7Fs are very important on transmission. You can contact diseases or viruses through your face. You can contact it through your fingers. You can contact it through feces. You can contact diseases through flies landing on your potato salad. You need to understand the virus is transmitted on your foot. Also, it's transmitted through food. And it's also transmitted, what that famous word we'd like to talk about is called formite. And a fomite is, in our world of infectious diseases, an inanimate object. What does that mean? That virus can live on your cell phone for 28 days. That's an inanimate object. Your coffee cup can stay on your desk, be in your bathroom, etc. It can be on your clothes. They tell you to cough into your sleeve. Okay, go ahead and cough into your sleeve and give grandmother a hug. You're going to infect grandmother because that virus can live in the clothes on an inanimate object for lots and lots of time. And so these are some of the things that we talk about, and trying to understand and trying to get people back to the basics, because we have to reset the clock. It's funny, one of the things they always say, the person that laughed the loudest. And that is true, because you have all these pundits out there. The previous administration, people jumped into a lane, FDA, CDC, etc. Well, guess what? 600,000 people died. So you got an F. And now everybody's running to the hills now because they don't want to take responsibility. And that's the reality. And so when we go down this road, folks, we're going to be a family for at least the next year. That's the way it is, because this is the reality of what we're dealing with. This virus is not going to be going away next week. It's not 1 year. I promise you, mark my words, you're going to be dealing with this for at least the next 20 years minimum, and that puts me I'm 19. So when I get 39, this virus is still going on. And so I'll open up for some questions.
Yeah. Oh, Doc, this is so good. Listen, people like myself that I'm about to start, thank you for being here. This means so much to me. My mom is in North Carolina, and I want to visit her. And I know somebody else may have this question. I need to see my mom. My mom is in her 70s, 80s, or whatever. And I want to go see my mom. And I still want to go to some of these business events, but they kind of social distance. But the most important person is my mom. Are you saying that this mask, that you have this anti-purification mask, would be helpful for me to use if I'm going to be in the presence of her, not taking it off, and constantly watching, what I do with my hands and everything else? Is that what you're saying to us?
I'm saying that absolutely. And when it comes to talking about masks, folks, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real, because we know who the best organization is on the planet. That's the US Army. Most trained, we're the most educated. I am one people on the planet certified in biological warfare management of medical patients and stuff. I have a pretty good understanding of masks dealing with nerve gas, mustard gas, Ebola, different viruses that we deal at a BSL 3 or 4 level. So I understand that. And so when I tell you a mask that you can get that's going to protect you and be able to allow you to see your mom, absolutely 100%. I'll take that to the bank. And that mask, the best mask out there, folks, right now, on that type of level that gives you protection, is the antiviral 389 airlock mask. And that has what we call a 99.99926% log kill. That means it has a 7 log kill which means it is impossible for you to be infected or affect other people. And the beautiful thing about this mask is when you breathe in and out, the mask kills the SARS-CoV virus at 124 nanometers, bacterial fungus. That's a game changer. And I think you guys have seen some of my platform. I'll show you. This is a mask I'm talking about, the air purification, that if I was going to see my mom, this is the mask I would wear. We have another mask out here that is disposable, and this is a copper mask, which is the only what we call the FFP2 or FFP3 series mask that is disposable that you can use, that has that same type of ability to kill the actual SARS-CoV virus. And these two masks have been tested against the SARS-CoV virus. And these two masks, and listen to me very carefully, the word you're looking for is antiviral. All these other masks, the N95s, the ones that you see, and I got an N95 right here, these masks have been tested against bacteria. So the mask that you're going to have to see your mom, and we're going into the future, because I know where the technology is going to be masks that are antiviral, not these antibacterial masks. I hope that answers your question.
Wow.
Hey,
Dr. Rowland, I know we have like a minute or two left with you, but this is a question in the chat that's asked about the 3 different virus vaccines. And how, are they, the best of the 3, I guess that's the question.
There's no best of the 3. All the vaccines that you got to take. The clinical trials, the Pfizer vaccine, the Moderna vaccine, AstraZeneca vaccine, Johnson & Johnson. Folks, let's keep it real. They're still experimenting. This is what they call experimental use authorization. They're getting data now, and they're trying to figure out what that famous word is. And I want everybody, the next time we talk again, the first question I'm going to ask, did everybody look up the word vaccine effectiveness? I didn't say vaccine efficacy, because vaccine efficacy doesn't mean anything. What does that mean? You take 100 people, 50 of them get the placebo, 50 of them get the actual vaccine at different dosages, and then 2 people get a headache. Well, guess what? Pfizer has a 98% vaccine effectiveness. But when you put that vaccine in the field or test it against the African strain, the Brazil strain, when you test it against Black folks that have sickle cell anemia, and you have folks that have autism and pregnant female, and you have people that have leukemia and all these diseases, that vaccine effectiveness or vaccine efficacy is going to drop down to about 15% vaccine effectiveness. That's the problem Johnson & Johnson had. They were lying about their data. They said they had a 60% vaccine efficacy. When they went against the African strain, it went down to 10%, and they stopped the vaccine in Africa. So you guys need to figure out what the best vaccine is for yourself. Be informed on it. As a scientist and a doctor, in my opinion, based off of what I've seen on the medical and science, the best vaccine out there is called COVAX, and that's COVAXX, and that vaccine will be coming out in the near future. And this vaccine has 32,000 more neutralizing antibodies than all the vaccines put together. And that's a very powerful thing. That's why people need to be cautious. You need to take your time. My world, rabbit and the turtle always wins because he's rock steady. He doesn't panic. He takes time. You have to have.
All right.
Yes, Dr. Rowland, once again. Woo!
Thank you. Out the house. Well, Dr. Rowling, thank you so much again, and we look forward to you on the next time you come on our show. We look forward to you. Don't forget to watch him on the Black News. The Black News Network,
BNC
channel. Yeah, on Sunday morning.
Oh, Sunday night.
He'll be on
Sunday night. He said, Linda.
Sunday night.
Every Sunday night, Black News Channel.
Okay, every Sunday night, tune in to get more information. Thank you so much. Peace and blessings to you, and stay safe.
Yeah, Dr. Rowland, there are some questions in the chat, so somehow you maybe get Deb to answer those questions, and hopefully they can get them answered as well.
You better tell Deb to answer some questions.
Deb, you better answer those questions.
Deb,
Thank you, Dr. Rowling. Thank you. All the way from Las Vegas. Yes, yes,
All the way
yes.
from Las
All the way
Vegas.
from Las Vegas.
And
Girls,
somewhere
this
in
is,
the world, he might not be there today. Who
well,
knows?
hey, I know that's
And
right.
that's his
Dr. Rowland is
business.
putting death to work.
I know, right?
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Woo, well, Linda, this has been an awesome day. Next week is our education and mentoring. Who do we
I
have?
am so super excited. That's me. And that is so me. So we're going to bring it on next week as well. You know that it is April is Financial Literacy Month. And we are affirming some things about our finances. And then I'll talk about my book next week. Yes, yes, yes. But we'll talk about that next week.
Yay! Yeah, this has been an awesome day, awesome time. Love, love, love. Thank you all for supporting and watching. Share, share, share. And we will be back next week. So it's been a great time. Linda, what time is it, girl?
Girl, it's time for you to walk in your purpose and prosperity.
Well, that's what we're going to do. See y'all
We're
next
gonna do it
week.
Saturday.
Yay, good job. Oh my God. Go ahead, Linda. Linda's a body girl.